district is that when an employee or an elected member has put in 20 years worth of service, there's a bit of recognition for that by way of a watch, a gold or silver watch, and some of the female staff go for earrings or a bracelet, that sort of changed a bit. And we had a farewell just on last Thursday for the staff and landing there. And normally we do this at Christmas time, but we did it a little bit earlier because it's more fitting for the people that are getting their 20-year watch this year, that it was done by Langley before he leaves at Christmas time. But today, and it's rare that actually elected members get in this, but we've got an elected member, and I don't know if you've looked out at the photos back in 2004 when Paul was 10. First on council. So he has been elected, this is his seventh term now. And he's got no signs of slowing down just yet. So that's an enormous amount of time to give back to a community, particularly when we know what elected members are earning. And way back in 2004, it was probably about $7,000, and it didn't really jump up for quite a number of years. So that's an enormous amount of time to give back to your community, and we appreciate that. You've been brilliant in my time while I've been on council. You've got a wealth of knowledge, particularly around that RMA stuff. You're very black and white at times, but which is great. We need some of that black and white sometimes for us that lean on all those spectrums of the colours to bring us back. One of the things that I hear regularly from elected members, both past and present, is that Paul doesn't often say much at a meeting, but when he does, it's going to have an impact. So he won't just add it to a conversation for the sake of it, he'll normally have something in it. But one thing I've always noticed with Paul is that he's never ever, even if he might be the only person that wants to vote against something, or says that he'll never ever hold a grudge. I've never seen him hold a grudge in my time here, so that should be commended. So on behalf of the council, and I'm going to do it the opposite way, because normally I do the speech, no, Langley does the speech and I give out the watch, and this time I'm going to get Langley to come out the watch. Both myself and Langley were a little bit when we saw the bling. So well done. Thank you.
Thanks everyone, and thanks Toby for those words. I really appreciate it. I took a little bit of time in the last couple of weeks knowing that this was coming to reflect on 20 years and what I was thinking at the time. When I first talked to John Treasure, he said we need young people on council because there's too many old fogies like me and we've got to get some young blood in there. So I thought I'll give it a go and didn't think it would last much more than a couple of terms, maybe at best. I thought I could give a different point of view because there was barely anybody under 50 on council at the time, let alone early 20s like I was. And not all councillors at the time were fully accepting of a younger, different point of view. But most of them were, and the ones that weren't at the start did cover out, so that was good. In the early days, I had a lot of good support from Don Lockwood, who I used to sit down there back where Steve sits now, and also Ian Troughton was very helpful in those early weeks and months. With me getting the hang of things. Thinking back how it was then, there was no laptops, there was no screens and computers and all that sort of jazz. Someone actually got in a car and drove around and gave you your agenda, handed it to you, or it got posted in this giant envelope would turn up on a Monday morning or maybe a Friday afternoon for you to read. There was no Facebook. If people wanted to talk to you, they picked up the phone or came and see you and shake their fist angrily at you if you've got it wrong, whereas now they just blast off on Facebook. So that's probably the biggest change I've noticed over 20 years. After my initial few years, I had good support and really enjoyed working alongside Mary and Julia, particularly on the hearings we do. Often you have to be in the room with people that are very emotional about the thing they're going through, and quite often it's to do with dogs, and we had one of those last week as well. And being able to learn from those two women and how they would listen to people and ask them questions and get the best out of those people and make good decisions. I learned more from the two of them on the meetings I've sat with than I have on any course I've ever gone on. So just wanted to acknowledge them. Jill would say to us, we need to understand what people are trying to tell us and not necessarily the words they're using, because you get flustered and use the wrong words, so you need to cut through and get that message. And advice that she talked about 12 or 13 years ago is still relevant today. In 20 years, I had a look back through the photos. I've worked with 40 councillors and 2 mayors and 9 senior staff, and I can say I've really enjoyed the relationships with all of those people over that time. We're no longer a bunch of retirees and farmers and school teachers sitting at this table. We're a massively diverse bunch in all ways and all backgrounds, and I think we're all here for the right reasons too, so that makes it an absolute pleasure for me to be part of this team. Thank you to Langley for your service over a long period of time. I really appreciate the way you and your staff have opened doors to us as councillors. It really makes the job so much easier to do. A big part of what makes it enjoyable is working alongside the staff to get the best for the community. Thank you to Toby for your unique style of leadership and the way you make it enjoyable for all of us to be part of this. At times it can be a bit trying and some of the kickback from the public, but if you can come in this room and share a laugh together and go away and have a cup of tea and a biscuit and think you on, that really makes it all the more better. None of us can do this job without the support of our family. I've had great support over all of my time here. My parents have allowed me a lot of time away from work and still do, so thank you Mum and Dad for that. My darling wife Hannah is back there today, thank you for being here with our little girl Chloe. Amanda's at school, we wouldn't have time like this for us. So a big thank you to you two for both being here today, it's much appreciated. And then finishing up, I'll just say it's an honour and a privilege to have the continued support of people in the community that vote us in here to do this job. And after 20 years, I can honestly say, I love doing this job.
I'll just open up with
just on behalf of the staff, Paul, thank you for your guidance over the years. Since you were a very young chap when we first met you, and it's been a pleasure to watch you grow into the role and watch you develop, particularly around, as Toby said, the RMA field, which needs a good steady hand and a good your reason of logical thought. That's really our value. So just on behalf of the staff, congratulations on 20 years, and you're still a young man, so we'll do it
halfway there.
I'd like to say something too, is that all right?
100%.
Paul, when I was thinking about being a counsellor, I came to see you, and I said, look, I know nothing about computers, don't worry, I'm a teacher. You think I'd be a good candidate? Yes, you will. You were very, very positive, and I found that every time when I've had an issue, I've rang you about anything, I've talked to you, you have an impartial view, which I really like and appreciate, and I think you've been very good to the new councillors. You've always been there, you've always hung around, it's always been easy to come and see you, and you've never judged. At times we get questions wrong, but you've never judged us, you've always treated us well, so I thank you for that, because I probably may not have stood unless I had that conversation with you. So thank you for that.
Here, without exception, I've got on very well with, and as we know, you spend most of your time generally with the councillors from your own ward. We try and do it not intermingling, but all of the pirate councillors, without exception, I've got on really well with, especially the current group.
Right, well, listen. Well, on that note, we'll break for lunch. Hopefully, Hannah can stay and join us for a minute of lunch, and we'll have a light one. And if we can get back at say half an hour long enough, 25 minutes.